Coach, what's been your message to these guys as spring ball gets underway about what you want them to accomplish in your scheme?
Yeah, we're just trying to focus on the fundamentals and the details. Like Coach talks about dart all the time. So we're going to focus on dart, on our everyday activities, what we do in life, what we do at the classroom, what we do off the field, what we do on the field. So just focus on those little things. And then just those guys coming together and playing for each other. So we're just trying to create that culture.
What is the scheme you're trying to put in? What can you tell us about the philosophy?
Well, I think that the number one thing is you have to know who your players are and what do they do well. You can't just come in here and lock these guys into a scheme and say we're playing this defense only. We got a really good staff and guys that come from all different backgrounds. So we're going to realize what our guys do well, and then we'll adjust from there.
What's it like being on this journey with Fran?
Oh, man, it's awesome. I'm proud of him and everything he's accomplished, and I'm just grateful that he gave me the opportunity to join him and help him with this whole deal.
And what were those conversations like with Fran when he brought you up here?
All these things you talk about since you're small. Once we got this profession together, you always talk about this moment when you get an opportunity to do these things. You have all these plans, and in the meantime, you just put your head down and you work and be where your feet are. And then when it actually happened, that's when we really got a chance to say, hey, if I get this opportunity, would you like to join me? And it was no question that I wanted to join him.
Coach, how has the Syracuse, New York experience been for you? How's it living here?
And I love it. Like I said, I remember as a high school kid coming down here as a recruit, and that's been the last time I've been down to Syracuse. But for me, I've been in the deep South for the past 7 years, so I'm excited to get back around some snow. I'm still looking to try to see where I'm going to bring my family, where we're going to live, but so far it's been pretty good.
To have that SEC experience, bringing it up here to Syracuse, just how valuable has that experience been for you?
It's a great conference, and I really enjoyed my time there. I worked for a great coach in Jimbo Fisher. Played against some really good competition week in and week out. But I'll tell you what, if you look back at it, you look at the national championship and the playoffs, the ACC always is well represented. So I had an opportunity to play against some conference in the ACC while I was in the SEC. And these guys are just as competitive. So this is a great conference. We're excited to be in it, and there's some great coaches that we're going to have to go against. So we got our challenges ahead of us.
Are you leaning a little bit more on Fidel to help out there since he's a little familiar with what you do? He said he was been working with you a little bit.
Yeah, so even with the things we've done in the past, there's no guarantee we're going to strictly run what Fidel's used to. So Fidel's doing some learning as well, so he can't relax because it's not what it's been for him the past few years. Like I said, I've been around a few different coordinators, and I took a piece of everybody, and I really enjoyed the things that I learned. And again, we have Rob Wright, who's been a coordinator. We have Joe Schaefer, we have Coach Nick Williams, and don't forget Coach Fran. And these guys has been a lot of different places and played for a lot of different guys and coached with a lot of different coordinators. So we're going to figure out what our guys do well, and we're going to adjust our scheme around those guys.
What went into the decision to move Deuce back to safety and work out with them?
But why not get them better? The spring is a time to see what these guys can do. So there's no lock-in that he's just going to be a safety, but he's played corner, and why not let him used to playing safety? Now we can adjust to who's on the field, who's not on the field. We don't have to make a lot of different subs, okay, if guys can do multiple things. We're trying to create value for him and everybody else on this team.
Is that something that you can do with multiple players, kind of shift them around?
The more you can do, the better you are, and the more you can do, it's harder to get rid of you, right? So we just want to teach our guys the game and put them in different positions to be successful, and we can't lock them into a box to do that,
What excites you most about the potential that this defense has, knowing a lot of guys from last year back, and you mix in a lot of newcomers as well?
Yeah, I'm just excited because the guys come every day ready to work. They got juice, they got energy, they're eager to learn, they want to get better, so it's hard not to enjoy that, So you don't see that everywhere, but these kids are hungry to learn, and they're ready to get better.
You brought in a lot of your own guys in the portal, but getting returning leaders here like Justin Barron and Marlo Wax, guys that were here last year. How valuable was that?
Man, those guys, I talk about JB and Marlo, they're great. It was great helping us adjust when we first got here. Those guys hosted unofficial visits. So those guys say they open their arms up to us as a new staff and for the new players that came in. So I'm excited to have those guys, to have those leaders. They made it easier for us. And again, those guys have been the first guys to come up to your office and say, hey, coach, what can we get better at? How can we help? So I'm excited to have those guys. And they were leaders before we got here, and they're darn sure leaders now.
What's it been like going against Kyle McCord? How does he kind of stack up against some of those SEC guys that you've faced in the past couple of years?
He's the best I've been around. I'll be honest about that. You see the throws he make. He's going to challenge us every day, and it's going to make us better for the game. So I'm glad that we get to go against him now instead of on Saturdays.
Have you had a moment where you've looked around and noticed the amount of Camden roots that were a part of this program?
Yeah, when you look around, you see it. You're like, man, you don't really pay attention to it, and then you start seeing those guys around, and realize you remember these guys since Little League. So one thing I know about those guys is they're tough. They want to get better. They understand the responsibility they have for all the kids back in the inner city, and the role model they can be to those kids. So I'm excited to see them. Again, we all a lot of similar backgrounds, similar neighborhoods. So that's something unique that you don't see every day.
Coach, you spent some time with the alumni and just what it means to you to see them out at practice as well, and what that experience has been to see Syracuse at past.
Oh man, it's awesome. Those guys, again, this is their home. They're gonna always come back here. So the pride that they have for this program, the pride they have for the past. Like I mentioned, guys like Coach P, Coach DeLeon, who I had a chance to work with. Like those guys did it the right way. And when we get the alum to come back and talk to us and tell us their experiences, and in order to move forward, you got to know what happened in the past. So I'm excited that those guys open their arms up to us, and they're involved. They're talking to our players about what it should be. We had a high school coach in our defensive line room today, and he was one of the last guys on the team when they won the Big East conference. So for our guys to hear from that guy today, man, it was awesome.
Coach, Fran talks about Dart, and you hear it, a lot in practice. How do you implement Dart into the defense?
That's everyday life, and that's the message to the team. So everything we do has to be that way. We have to be detailed, accountable, relentless, and tough. That's defense. That's life. So whether they're brushing their teeth, whether they're making their bed, whether they're going to class or studying, that has to be the foundation of everything we do is being Dart.
Two more for Coach Murray's got him. Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Who is your coach?